So now I would like to welcome to the Acting Dean of Fulbright University, Vietnam, Dr. Linh. He's a Vietnamese mathematician with a passion for liberal arts education. He's interested in applied mathematics with a focus on applied probability. He has done research in random matrix and random graph theory, which resulted in publications with high citation. And he supervised undergraduate students in various projects with topics in applied graph theory, financial mathematics, and stochastic simulation. Please welcome.
Okay, thank you very much for the introduction. What I'm talking today has nothing to do with math, so let's forget the introduction. So first, let me thank the organizer, Marisa, who have me here. So this is a good opportunity to talk about global citizen education. This is one of the things that we're thinking about because we are a very young university and we are currently building our curriculum. And so we think of global citizen education will be something that we will incorporate into our curriculum. And so from the morning here, we hear a lot about like why do we need this and what is this. So I would like to share just a little bit of our curriculum and how we approach to teach some of this in our curriculum. So it will be a small portion of our curriculum, but hopefully you can have a sense of what we are trying to do here. Next slide, please. Okay, so I will have a few minutes to talk about Fulbright University first. So just you know that who we are. So Fulbright University of Vietnam was established officially in 2017 as one of the culmination of the Vietnam and U.S. relationship. So it's been back and forth a conversation between the leader of the two nations, and then after the visit of President Obama, then we are officially established. So we would be the first independent and nonprofit university in Vietnam, and also the first liberal arts education program in Vietnam. So I want to talk a bit about what is liberal art and why we're trying to do that. So liberal art basically is we try to teach you the skill more than the knowledge. Okay. So what you take away from our program after you graduate, you have a set of skill, like a tool set that you can bring it, and then you can apply it anywhere that you like. Okay. So we would not have majors with something like business or accounting, but we would like to provide you with information or skill set that you need in order to do critical thinking in economics, in mathematics, something. So to develop your thinking and to develop your other soft skill, for example, communication, teamwork, and such like that. So all of those things will fit well into the definition of global citizen education. We need those kind of skills. Can I have next slide, please? Okay, so this is just the ceremony. I mean, the meeting of President Barack Obama with some of the leader in Ho Chi Minh City, and we will mention in there that we are the first nation independent nonprofit nonprofit university where the full academic freedom and scholarship for those in need. So we will have a full academic freedom, which means that we can build our own curriculum from what we see fit. We don't have to follow any kind of model before, and this is one of it's a once in a lifetime chance to do things like this. Usually, if you come to send anything like Harvard, the program was been there like for a few hundred years. You can fix this, you can fix that, but you cannot change everything of that. And then we're trying to fulfill another part of global education that we mentioned earlier, is that we're trying to provide education for those who don't have the the financial necessity to study, for example. So we have a financial aid program that we recruit students regardless of their financial condition. And then if you're coming from a family that have income that are very low, then we're going to subsidize that kind of tuition for you. So actually less than half our students actually pay something right now. Next slide, please. Okay, this is just a timeline, so you don't have to worry about this too much. It's just saying that we're going to start the conversation in 2013, and then at 2017, then we have a license. Next slide, please. This is our growing path. So we start recruiting students actually in 2018, but that year doesn't count. That we call that the co-design year. So we recruit some of the students and work with the founding faculty to work together and build the curriculum. So the students have a very active part in the building process. And then we start officially recruit the student by 2019, and then we're growing up to, so next year we're going to have the first batch of graduation. Yeah, so it's very exciting. Thank you. Next slide, please. Okay, so our vision will be we're trying to be the top choice for students in Vietnam and across Asia in about 25 years. And so this is our official vision, and you can see that it kind of fit with the global education purpose, that we will try to have students engaged in research, French internship, and student organization in Vietnam and across the globe, and pursue opportunity in the world's best company and graduate program. Okay, so we do not limit our vision just to have you prepare for the labor market in Vietnam, but it's a global one. And we will try to make some influence to Vietnam's higher education by trying to increasingly integrate student-centered pedagogy and liberal arts approach in our teaching. So I will talk about some of the examples of this a bit later. Okay. Next slide, please. Okay, so by definition, by UNESCO definition, we have let's say that code is like something like a learning outcome for the program of global citizen education. Then we need to have the knowledge. Knowledge is that we have to understand the context and the problem of the world, both locally and globally. Okay? So we have to be able to understand where we are. We understand what's going on here, and then we have related to the problem in the world. Okay? And socio-emotional, that we need to have values and social skill, and so that we can promote sustainable development and lifestyle, as well as the culture of peace and nonviolence. Okay? So this is a key that can only happen inside each of the person. Right? Because if you understand that you cannot pollute the environment in the way that we are, you cannot go and then make a war with another country. You don't want to do that. If everybody wants to do that, then we would have a better world, right? And the last thing is behavioral. So we should be able to actively contribute to the solution of the global problem. Yeah. And this could be a small contribution, it could be the large contribution, but we need to have awareness, and we also need to have the knowledge and the skill set in order to do so. Okay. Next slide, please. All right, so this is our curriculum right now. So we have basically it's 5 parts. The first one is a bridge program. Bridge program basically prepare the student if he or she is lacking in English skill. Then we have a few months that he or she can study English and also some other like core thing like mathematics or some presentation skill or something like that. And then we have a very important part, and that this is something that the liberal arts education usually do, is the core and exploratory courses. Okay, so the core courses and the exploratory courses here, students will take them during the first 2 years. Okay. So we are kind of different from other universities in Vietnam, that we don't have major declare when the student admit to the school. So when the student admit to the school, they just admit to Fulbright. They have no major. In the first 2 years, they all study the core program, and then they have some exploratory courses of their own. But after that, after first 2 years, then they understand a bit more about all the majors that we are offering, and then they choose the one that fits them the most. Okay. So this is where the learning outcome for the global citizenship education that we target for, because this is something that all students have to take. After they get the major and everything, we have other things. So the other component I can talk about it later, but let's focus on this one first. Okay. Next slide, please. All right, so let's talk first about our core curriculums. We are following the American tradition that we will start the study by let the student take all of these 5 core courses. Okay, so these core courses is something that we design from scratch. So some of them were designed in the co-design year by both the faculty and the student of that year, and now we kind of finalize the core curriculum here. So we have 5 courses. The first one is called the Global Humanities Social Change. The second one is Modern Vietnamese Culture and Society. Third one is Quantitative Reasoning for the Digital Age. And fourth one is Scientific Inquiry. And the last one is Design and System Thinking. Okay. All right, so since we have some of the students here, I would like to ask you a question that, let's say that if you want to have sympathy with somebody, what is the first thing that you need? Or let's say if you want to love somebody, what is the first thing that you need? Yes, that's the question, but let's say that focus on the other. Exactly, thank you very much. We have to understand them first, right? You cannot love somebody if you don't understand them, okay? And sympathy is what? Sympathy is that you understand yourself, you understand the other, and you see that you guys have some kind of similarities, right? That's where sympathy comes from, right? Now, our first course in the core courses were designed more or less for that purpose. Okay? Can I have next slide, please? Can I have next slide, please? All right, so this is a course we call Global Humanity and Social Change. So basically, in this course, what the student would experience is this. So we will start with some text that students have to read, but then you can read about different regions in the world at different times. But we align the text so that when you read those, you can see that the same thing can happen at different locations and different times. Okay, so when we trace back into history, we can see that the development of some country, the development of some group of people, maybe they're not that much different. Maybe we can share the same root. Maybe we should share something that is very familiar with everybody. Okay? And student, we would not teach this to the student. So Fulbright, all the course, we use the active learning method, which means that when you sit in the class, you have to work. You cannot just sit there and listen. You have to work. So working is what? Like we give you some reading that you have to read before class. You come to class, you have to do discussion with your peer in the group, and then each of the group, among the groups, you can have discussion, you can have debates, and something like that. So we try to see that, we try to show the student that these are the key moments in the global history. But then if you look around that, you can see that we have a lot of things in common. Okay, so that's where we hope that if the students see that, students can understand that, okay, we are here, Vietnam, for example. We have something close to some our neighbor, let's say Laos, Cambodia, was it? But also we have something similar to Russian. We have something similar to German. Okay? So that's where we hope that students can understand other culture without being, because if you want to study about every country, like how do you do that, right? So so it's going to be difficult to do that, but if you understand the context and the idea, and that would be easy. Okay? So that's the first course. Can I have next slide? I want to finish soon. Next slide, please. Okay. So this is the second cause, and because we understand, we believe that if you want to be a global citizen, you need to know local first. Okay, and local to us is Vietnam. Okay, so we have to find the Vietnam identity. Okay, because I remember somebody said in the morning that if you are a global citizen, you're a citizen of nowhere, right? That's not necessarily be true, right? You can be a global citizen, but you have a root, let's say in Vietnam, right? And to do that, you have to understand our Vietnam. Okay, so this is a part of our Vietnam study program, but it's we kind of develop a course so that everybody can take. Okay, and in this course, students will explore the culture of Vietnam, the art, the history, even with some very sensitive topics. Like the politics and the war and things like that. But we open for students to have opinion about everything. Who's winning, who's right, who's wrong, that's up to you. You can debate. But after that, we hope that the student can develop a deep root in Vietnam culture. And then from there, if you go anywhere, you can identify yourself, but you can be a global citizenship. Okay? Okay, I think that's the most important one that I want to share. There's a few other courses and other components. I will be happy to take a question from you. So I just want to share a bit of this. Thank you. Yes. So I'll give you an example like this. Let's say that you in a company. Let's say your company do some tech, right? Let's say FBT or something, right? If you are a leader, what do you need? You need to be able to talk to your customer. You need to be able to talk to your employee, right? So that requires what? Communication skill, organization skill. Okay? But if you're a tech company, your customer will not be a tech person, right? Let's say you take an order from a bank, right? So then what do you need in order to talk to them? You need some information about the bank. You need to know about banking system. You need to know about finance system. And all of those things, you cannot say that, okay, I go to this university and I study all of them. It's impossible to study everything because you're going to have this customer today and you're going to have another customer tomorrow, right? So what is the skill that you need? You need the skill to learn, right? Let's say you need to study this one. You should be able to go up to Google. You should be able to ask some expert about this, about that. Okay? You can hire an expert outside to do consultation for you, but you should be able to understand most of the things that they say. Okay? So what liberal are trying to do is trying to develop the skill of learning for you. That's why we pushed our students through a lot of courses. So even though you have math, you have computing, coding, you still have to take a bit of this, a bit of that. And you have to take it just like you are in that major. You have to spend all your energy, you have to spend all your effort, try to get past that. And along the way, you might recognize that it's not that scary. Okay? And that's gonna happen with you every step of the way in your life. Because you have something new that you have to learn. Not every time you would like it. Let's say your boss assign you a bank that you have to take in the customer and you hate banking. That's fine, but you should be able to understand them. So that's what people are trying to do, usually.
How do Fulbright do to have the student at Fulbright University to determine what I like or which careers are appropriate for us in the future?
entirely up to the student. So the student come in, we treat all students the same. Okay, so we say you have to take this core course, and after you take the core course, you have some idea of the major, and then you have another layer is called exploratory. So you can choose 8 courses in different categories that you can study. Okay, and after that, you kind of know deep enough. Then at that time, you can choose one of the things that you like the most. Okay, and then go on with that. And we make it easy to switch. Even if you are in the 3rd year, but you feel that, okay, this major may not be the one that I like, okay, fine, switch to another one. That's fine. You can go online, click your button to do that. You don't need any paperwork. Okay? But you have to be responsible for your education. So this is basically a journey that is very personalized. Nobody has the same journey at Fulbright. You can choose different courses, you can choose different major, you can choose different topic for your capstone project and things like that. So it's entirely up to you, and that build a kind of the ownership sense for the student, is that I build my education the way that I like, and we try to promote that. We try to embrace that. Yes.
What you said and as you go through and get a sense of what you're doing.
Especially for a job is very general, like yours, right? You have to deal with all kinds of stuff, not just a single thing. So if you just study one thing, then how do you do this kind of job, right? All right, thank you very much.